Hi everybody, it's Andrew Bebb with Midwest Fishing Club, and today we're going to talk about small pond bank fishing. The first thing I want to talk about, especially in a small pond, is stealth. Stealth is something that most fishermen don't think about. Um, Vibrations in the ground. When I first started fishing, I would drive my car right up to the edge of the bank. I don't do that anymore. I park my car way over there, and then I walk down very carefully. How many times have you walked up to a pond like this, and as soon as you got within 5 feet of it, you saw swirls all over the place of fish running away? You're missing fish if you're seeing that. Last night I did the fishing portion of this, and I pre-taped all this except for it didn't tape. So for whatever reason. So this morning I have to do it again. So what I do is I'll fish right in front of me, about 10, kind of fan out right in front of me, about 10 feet out and into the bank. You'll see an example here. And this is why you stay 10 feet away. Not very big, but that's one of the reasons. It's actually a tiny bass. But caught him right off the bank, right in front of me. Instead of going all the way across the entire lake or pond right off the bat, you get, it may be tiny, but he's in there. But stealth is really important. I like to wear darker colors, especially blues, browns, greens, especially in the spring when the spawn is on. If you're fishing a pond or a lake area or the bank when the spawn is on, if you can look down and see those fish, well, guess what? They can look up and see you. So I try and blend in as much as possible. I work backwards. A lot of people go out with their main lure, their buzz bait or whatever they're going to use for that morning. They've decided it's going to be fishing. That's what the fish are going to go after. I don't. When I'm fishing a small pond, you want to think backwards, especially if you're fishing right in front of you and you're fishing a lot of banks. You want to go in with finesse baits. You want to throw a wacky rig or a weightless Texas rig or something that's not going to make a lot of splash, a lot of commotion. Once you catch a fish, that area's kind of covered. Then you can walk up to the bank and. So now that we're down on the bank, we're going to start making 90-degree casts in both directions to work that bank and that shoreline. And here comes the fish. This is actually a decent fish, although my drag may be set a little light. He's got some weight to him. It's a decent, well, I think it's a decent fish, although he could be just stuck in the grass, but I think he's a pretty decent fish. This is that 90-degree, oh, he's stuck in the grass now. This is where I wish I had that 65-pound braid on my frog. Try and coax him out of that grass or drag it in. Maybe I just got grass now. He may have kicked off. I may have lost him in that grass. That's awful heavy grass. Nope. There's a bass in all that grass. Woo! I was hoping there was. Now that Fishing at 90-degree angle I was telling you about. Fishing at 90-degree angle, right along the bank in a pond. You get a nice bass come out of it. Let me get a picture of him and then we'll let him go here. Oh, come on, guy. That's a pretty nice little bass right there. I hope I get this on camera. So that's fishing at 90-degree. We'll get him back in real nice and easy. And off he goes. You know, not a huge bass, but a pretty dang, compared to the first one we caught today, that's a monster. And like I said, he went diving deep into this grass and weed, and that's why I had to kind of coax him back in. That's a nice fish out of this pond. Most of the fish you get in this pond are going to be on the smaller side. It's an old pond. It's a real old pond, in fact, but we had a bad freeze a couple years ago. We lost most of the big fish. We're just getting back into those bigger fish. Like I said, I'm running a weedless. I'm running a Texas rig. The one thing that's missing, the weight. This gives it a slow fall and still makes it weedless. And as you can tell, it works. I threw it right up 90 degrees down the bank here, and that big beauty came out for me. We had a nice little tussle. I've proven 2 points already, the first 2 fish. The first point I wanted to make was that I stay way back until I catch my first fish. I fish this bank line right in front of me because, you know, if there's fish right here along the bank, why not try and take opportunity out of it, you know, right there. I got up next to the bank after, I mean, so many people, they come right up and they cast all the way across the pond. You catch a fish all the way across the pond on the bank over there and you drag it all the way through here, you've disturbed all the fish in this area right around you. So why wouldn't you want to be a little stealthy and try and fish off the bank right in front of you to catch a fish? I proved that one right already. And then the 90 degrees down there, that real nice fish came out. And let's see 90 degrees over this way. That'd be too much fun to do that again. Just trying to keep it near the bank in the strike zone the longest amount of time I can. That's really what you want to do when you're fishing the pond. You know, ponds are a little different than lakes, you know, big lakes. When you're in a boat, you ever notice the boat fishermen always tie up near the bank, and the bank fishermen always try and get it farther out. The other areas I want to point out that you really want to fish in this particular pond. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. As you can see, there's some duckweed. Where that duckweed's at, the weeds, that's the weed line. So you want to fish that weed line. It's one of the favorite spots because I'll cast it over there and fish this weed line. You're always looking for the net. If you can't find the super natural area, you can't figure out where the bumps and the humps and everything's at, you don't have to. The 2 things you're really going to look for, one, you're going to look for shade. In the summer months, shade is your friend. The bass want to get out of the sun and they want to get to the shade. The bank is awesome, but if it's a windier day in the summer, you want to go to the cove or you want to go to the side and you want to cast along that bank. It's a little tougher, but you want to cast along that bank because that wind will blow all those, and move the water, and those feeder fish will all go up against that wind-blown bank, and that's where the bass are at, where the feeder fish are at. The other thing that I always carry when I go out fishing, bank fishing in general, but small pond and bank fishing especially, I travel light. I carry 2 poles. I carry my backpack. I don't want to be tugging around and having to load up everything and then just to walk. Because the theory, with a bass boat or in a boat, man, all you do is hit the trolling motor and you're moving down. You're just fishing that little area and then you're moving and you're moving and moving. Bank fishing is the same way. If you're not catching fish here, it's because there aren't any fish here. You just got to move to the spot where they're at. So much better. I'll get back to my 2 rods. A lot of people like to take 3 rods. I think it's just too much to carry. 2 rods I'm going to carry. I'm going to carry a 6.5 to 7 foot medium action fast or medium powered fast action rod. And the reason I'm going to do that is because I can fish all my weightless soft plastics, some of my smaller lures, and get away with it. My other one is going to be a medium heavy, 6.5 to 7 foot again, medium heavy with a fast action. And what I use on it is I use a 50-pound braid. Um, the reason I do that is because I love to fish the frog, but I don't want to carry that third heavy pole. And you can get away with it on a medium heavy with a fast action as long as you're carrying enough weight and line. And if you got that 50-pound braid, you got plenty of line. And it's just easier. You can throw the jig on it. You can throw, swim baits. You can throw Texas rigs, big worms. Love big worms in the summer. You can throw anything that's going to be heavy and meaty, and then even go all the way up to the frog. Again, go over all the things. You want to be stealthy. You don't want to spook the fish right off the bat. You want to start farther back. Notice I even started back behind the camera when I started fishing this hole. Caught a fish right out in front of me. It was awesome. Didn't spook the fish. Kept it quiet. Didn't park the car near there. Walked in quiet. Wearing darker clothes. If you can see the fish can see you. It's a simple fact. I can't tell you how many times I've walked up, quietly, just been standing there. Fish see. So if you can blend into the background if at all possible, that's great. 2 rods, backpack. Don't carry a ton of gear, man. Keep it simple. A Plano box and maybe a weight box and hooks, your hardware, and, some plastics. Your five favorite baits to fish in the summertime, and I'll get into that in another video. Nope. I still got him. He's little. I thought I didn't have him. He's a little bitty, baby. And unfortunately, we do have a lot of these guys in the pond. In the last year or so spawn, since we lost a lot of the big fish, this is what I do catch a lot of. All right, so we got to see what happens when you're fishing a small pond and got a few techniques and a few tips that hopefully you can use. My name's Andrew Bebb with Midwest Fishing Club. You keep your hooks wet and your stringers full. Until next time, have a great day.